I'd like to begin by just giving you a little view of how Ericsson sees the future. Ericsson believes strongly in something that we call the network society, and it's actually a fairly simple concept, which was that in the future, anything that can benefit from being connected will be connected. As Sam said, we see that in 2020, we believe there'll be 50 billion IP connected devices in the world. 15 billion of those connected devices will be video capable. So there's a huge explosion in connected devices and connectivity and video access on mobile. And that drives really two things. It drives to fulfill the consumer's demand, increasing demand to access their content wherever they want, on whatever device they want. But it doesn't actually steer away from the traditional broadcast television either. We run a consumer labs organization that goes out every year and surveys in 15 countries on TV usage. And interestingly, this year we saw increases again in broadcast linear TV in addition to these other services. When we looked at it, what we found was that the reason for that was again down to this huge amount of connectivity. Over 60% of people across the globe already continuously use social media and chat alongside watching the linear TV, and it's those possibilities for combined experiences across households that actually drive people back towards linear TV. But all of this video consumption, this is driving huge amounts of traffic on the networks. We believe that within 3 years, 90% of the traffic on IP networks will be video. We're already seeing over 50% on some mobile networks being video. The one other thing I'll say, though, is that the quality of the video is also important, and the quality of the service. In our consumer lab studies, continuously year after year, what we see is the #1 rated thing that consumers are willing to pay for in their video services is high quality and high definition. But this explosion in devices means for the operators a huge increase in complexity. Where traditionally they had one input feed in one format, one output feed in one format, they have many more options to cover. There are more inputs. There are pre-compressed, mezzanine compressed, and uncompressed inputs. There are more outputs, adaptive bit rate, traditional linear, managed and unmanaged, and more codecs. We're still transmitting to the millions of legacy MPEG-2 devices, as well as increasingly H.264, MPEG-4 devices, and now also HEVC. They're delivering these services over more networks and more types of networks. They're still delivering them over their traditional networks and starting to blend hybrids of traditional networks such as satellite with, for instance, IPTV, and also ABR traffic over the top and also on managed networks as well. So that's a much more complex environment than they traditionally had to deal with. And just to make it a little bit harder, they have more choices in how to deal with those video processing. Whereas traditionally, as Sam pointed out, it was the domain of the pure hardware-based approaches. Hardware-based approaches are becoming more software-centric themselves, more programmable. They also have software-based approaches and GPU-based approaches, and each one has its advantages and its disadvantages. But it's a highly complex environment for the operator to have to deal with, and also one in which they want to be able to deploy increasingly quickly new services. As I've said, though, we still believe in this compression performance, that the best compression performance, indicated here by quality over bit rate, is fundamental to the success of the operator. It's fundamental in terms of their revenues, their ability to deliver, for instance, more HD channels, 4K in the future within the limited bandwidth that they have in their traditional plants and over the IP networks. It's also fundamental to their cost structure and operational costs. Bandwidth costs money, be it for CDN costs, for over-the-top, transponder costs for satellite, and so on. So video compression and having the best video compression is still fundamental and key to the business performance of the operator. But coming back to how do you deal with that complexity though, we announced a new software product, I think it was 3 weeks ago, and we're unveiling it on the show floor at NAB this week, called Ericsson Virtualized Encoding, or EVE. This is a service-oriented software layer that actually allows you to abstract away from what type of processing you use to process your video, be it CPU, cloud, GPU, or hardware-based encoding. This enables the operators to decide which technology to use for each of their independent problems without any compromise, and blend all of those together into one single operational layer. It allows for maximum future-proofing. It allows for easy migration from rapidly deployed solutions for early stage product into more mature in the future, and is fully resource aware, easily extendable, and ensures that the right video processing gets mapped onto the right technology. In terms of how this virtualized encoding actually works, this is even at a little bit lower level. It really uses software agents embedded in the different types of products to abstract away the resources and the complexity, then allows you in a common way to deal with the operational aspects regardless of the type of technology platform used. So things like resource allocations, configuration, and scheduling, and provides very simple northbound APIs that allow you to either deploy lightweight web-based control of your entire system or integrate northbound into third-party higher-level control applications. Clearly, we've designed this to work with a bunch of Ericsson's programmable hardware-based encoding, and we'll also be actually launching on Monday or announcing 2 new products that are supported by EVE. But I think the main reason that we're here today is also we've chosen Elemental as our first third party to work with in integrating and performing an integration of EVE. Really the reason we've done that is that fundamental belief that we have in the high quality compression. Ericsson's well known for having the highest quality video compression programmable hardware. We believe that these guys have the best in CPU and GPU. So this is EVE. You'll be able to see it on the booth, integrated with Elemental. And so just finally, what we're looking at as Ericsson is really smarter video processing infrastructures. EVE is a fundamental part of the portfolio that we have to address these issues, designed to solve operator problems in this new world of complexity. That overall portfolio really includes EVE, it includes our compression, user experience through our media room middleware, operator CDNs and solutions for broadcasting over LTE and 4G. So an array of smarter video processing infrastructure solutions, really targeting, helping the operator deal with the consumer demands for video in that network society. So thank you very much.